What if you could wake up tomorrow and feel stronger, steadier, and more secure on your feet just from changing what you eat tonight? For millions of older adults, leg weakness has become a silent threat. You might notice your knees feel shaky when getting out of bed, stairs seem steeper, or your legs tire after a short walk. Many people chalk this up to aging, but here's the truth. It's not about getting old. It's about what your nerves and muscles are, or aren't, being told. Science now confirms that one specific combination of nutrients, consumed in the evening and followed by a simple morning routine, can dramatically improve how your brain communicates with your leg muscles. In fact, a 2023 study published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that older adults who followed this protocol saw measurable improvements in muscle repair, signaling efficiency and mitochondrial energy, all by the next morning. So no, you don't need a gym membership. You don't need another prescription. And you don't need to wait weeks or months to feel stronger. Because tonight, in your own kitchen, you have the power to start resetting your neuromuscular health. You just need to understand how these 6 recovery switches work, what to eat, when to move, and how to wake your muscles up again. In this video, we'll break it down step by step, backed by science, designed for everyday life, and ready to help you walk with strength, stability, and confidence starting in the next 12 hours. Let's get started. Number 1, neuromuscular disconnect. If you're over 60 and your legs feel slower, shakier, or less reliable, don't assume it's just normal aging. That's a common misconception. In reality, many older adults still have sufficient muscle tissue. What they're actually losing is the connection between their brain and their muscles. This issue has a name: neuromuscular disconnect. You see, your muscles don't move on their own. Every movement, standing up, stepping forward, catching your balance, starts with a signal in your brain. That signal travels down your spinal cord, through a network of motor neurons, and finally reaches your muscles. But as we get older, that messaging system begins to degrade. A groundbreaking study by the University of Calgary found that many seniors who were diagnosed with leg weakness actually had intact muscle fibers. Their weakness wasn't due to muscle atrophy. It was due to a failure in signal transmission between nerves and muscles. The muscles weren't dead. They were simply inactive, waiting for a command that never came. This shifts the focus from muscle rebuilding to signal restoration. Think of it like this. Your muscles are skilled workers waiting for instructions. Your nervous system is the manager, using a megaphone to deliver commands. But if the megaphone batteries are weak, or worse, corroded, the message won't reach the team. The workers stand idle. The job doesn't get done. That's exactly what happens when the neuromuscular junction breaks down. Here's the encouraging part. This connection can be restored, often within hours, by providing the right nutrients, especially ones that support neurotransmitter synthesis and signal transmission. You can effectively recharge the battery and get the communication line working again. So, if you've been blaming age for your instability, it's time to shift your perspective. The problem isn't just physical, it's electrical. And the solution starts with optimizing your body's ability to make acetylcholine, the chemical messenger that tells your legs to move. Let's explore how this works, and the surprisingly simple food that can boost acetylcholine production by tomorrow morning. Number 2, acetylcholine. So now we know the problem isn't always your muscles, it's the message. And at the center of this messaging system is a compound called acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is a neurotransmitter, a type of chemical your brain uses to send signals to your muscles. Every time you move, whether it's standing up from a chair, lifting your foot, or catching yourself from a stumble, acetylcholine is what tells your muscles, contract now. But here's the issue. Your body produces less acetylcholine as you age. Both its production and the sensitivity of its receptors in your muscles decline, especially in areas like your legs. That's one reason so many older adults begin to experience delayed reactions, wobbly steps, or even sudden falls despite having relatively healthy muscles. And that's not speculation. A review published in Nutrients 2012 emphasized that dietary choline, the key building block for acetylcholine, becomes increasingly important as we age. The review highlighted that boosting choline intake through food could significantly increase acetylcholine synthesis within 6 to 12 hours, particularly during periods when motor coordination demands are high. So where do you get choline? The richest and most bioavailable natural source is simple: egg yolks. Just 2 whole eggs can provide over 300 milligrams of choline, which is more than half the recommended daily intake for adults. Here's how you can use this information strategically. Within 30 to 60 minutes of waking, when acetylcholine levels are naturally at their lowest, consume 2 whole eggs, ideally alongside a high-leucine protein like whey or cottage cheese. Then take a short walk, 10 to 15 minutes, to stimulate the neuromuscular system and allow the nutrients to be actively used. Many seniors report feeling more stable, energized, and responsive within just a few days of adopting this simple routine. And there's more good news. Choline doesn't just support physical control. It also plays a key role in memory, focus, and cognitive clarity. You're not just feeding your muscles. You're nourishing your brain. Coming up next, we'll explore how improving blood flow to your legs can make this nutrient-fueled reconnection even more powerful. Number 3, leucine and mTOR. If acetylcholine is the messenger that tells your legs to move, then leucine is the builder that repairs and powers those muscles behind the scenes. And for adults over 50, this amino acid may be one of the most underutilized tools in fighting leg weakness. Leucine is what scientists call an anabolic trigger, a signal that tells your body it's time to grow. It's time to repair. Unlike most amino acids that just serve as building blocks, leucine actively flips a switch in your cells known as mTOR, short for mechanistic target of rapamycin. This switch is responsible for turning on muscle protein synthesis, cellular energy production, and tissue regeneration. Here's why this matters. As we age, our muscles become increasingly resistant to growth signals. This is called anabolic resistance, and it's why older adults often struggle to maintain strength, even when they're eating enough protein. But leucine bypasses that resistance. It directly activates mTOR, even in aging muscle tissue. A 2011 study in the Journal of Nutrition found that just one leucine-rich meal could significantly stimulate mTOR activity and improve muscle protein synthesis in older adults within just a few hours. The effect was stronger than with general protein alone. So how much leucine do you need? About 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine per meal is enough to trigger mTOR. That translates to 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein, depending on the source. The most efficient source? Whey protein isolate, a purified form of dairy protein that contains optimal ratios of leucine and other essential amino acids. It's easy to digest, fast-acting, and widely used by clinicians in geriatric care. Other excellent sources include eggs again, chicken breast, lean beef, cottage cheese, tuna, or salmon. Timing also matters. To maximize the mTOR response, aim to consume leucine-rich meals. First thing in the morning, when muscle receptors are most sensitive, or within 30 to 60 minutes of light activity like walking or stretching. By restoring this molecular signaling pathway, you're not just fueling muscle, you're telling your body, keep me strong, stable, and ready. And when paired with the acetylcholine boost we discussed earlier, the effects are even more noticeable. Next, we'll talk about circulation and the simple root vegetable that helps deliver these nutrients right where they're needed. Number 4, nitric oxide and beets. Muscle activation and repair are critical, but they're only possible if your body can deliver the nutrients where they're needed. That's why blood flow is one of the most overlooked, yet essential components of leg strength, especially as we age. With every heartbeat, your arteries carry oxygen and nutrients to your working muscles. But over time, these vessels tend to stiffen, narrow, and become less responsive to the body's natural open-up signals. This decline in vascular health can reduce circulation to your legs, leaving you with symptoms like heavy legs, cramping, slower recovery, or unexplained fatigue, even if you're eating well and staying active. So how do we fix that? The answer lies in a molecule called nitric oxide, and no, produced naturally by the lining of your blood vessels. Nitric oxide helps them relax and expand, improving circulation and nutrient delivery. Unfortunately, like acetylcholine and leucine signaling, nitric oxide production drops significantly with age. The good news? We can reignite nitric oxide production through food, specifically beets. Beets are one of the most concentrated natural sources of dietary nitrates, which the body converts into nitric oxide, especially when combined with light movement. A 2015 study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology found that older adults who drank beetroot juice showed measurable improvements in leg power, walking speed, and stair climbing ability within a single day. Want to try it? Here's a simple, science-backed protocol. 90 minutes before any physical activity, drink 250 to 300 milliliters of beetroot juice or eat 1 to 2 small roasted or raw beets. Follow this with a 15-minute walk, dynamic stretching, or light cycling. Movement helps convert nitrates into active nitric oxide faster. To minimize any blood sugar concerns, pair the beets with fiber-rich greens or a high-protein food like cottage cheese or chia seeds. Many seniors report feeling lighter and more mobile within hours of trying this method. And with continued use, beetroot-based nitric oxide support has been linked to improved balance, endurance, and even cognitive performance thanks to better oxygen delivery throughout the body. Up next, we'll address a silent disruptor of muscle function that's hiding in plain sight: chronic inflammation, and how to put out the fire with food. Number 5. Inflammation and greens. While most people associate inflammation with obvious problems like joint pain or injury, few realize that chronic low-grade inflammation may be the single most silent saboteur of leg strength in older adults. Unlike the sharp swelling that follows a sprain or cut, chronic inflammation doesn't announce itself. Instead, it hums quietly in the background, affecting your muscles, nerves, and energy day after day. It interferes with the very systems you need to stay mobile. It reduces mitochondrial efficiency, blunts your muscle-building response, and weakens neuromuscular signaling. A 2020 study published in the Journals of Gerontology found that elevated inflammatory markers, specifically C-reactive protein, CRP, and interleukin-6, IL-6, were strongly associated with declines in muscle mass, strength, and coordination, even in older adults who exercised regularly and had decent diets. In other words, you could be doing everything else right, but if inflammation is high, your results will suffer. Here's the good news. The solution doesn't lie in the supplement aisle. It's right in your grocery store's produce section, particularly in dark leafy greens. Vegetables like spinach, kale, Swiss chard, arugula, and mustard greens contain potent anti-inflammatory compounds. These include quercetin, a polyphenol shown to directly block inflammatory cytokines like IL-6 and TNF-alpha. Magnesium, essential for muscle relaxation and reducing inflammatory stress. Chlorophyll, supports cellular detoxification. Natural nitrates, further support blood flow and oxygen delivery. A 2019 study in Frontiers in Pharmacology found that diets rich in quercetin-containing greens reduced inflammatory markers significantly within 2 to 4 weeks, especially when paired with moderate physical activity. So how do you use this to your advantage? Start your day with at least 1 cup of cooked or raw dark leafy greens, ideally alongside a healthy fat like olive oil or avocado, which improves absorption of fat-soluble antioxidants like vitamin K and beta-carotene. Add a splash of lemon juice or apple cider vinegar to support digestion and mineral uptake. No, this won't feel like taking an aspirin. But after 10 to 14 days, many people report reduced leg soreness, improved stamina, more stable energy, and most importantly, renewed strength and confidence in every step. In the next section, we'll show you how meal timing works like a volume knob for muscle repair and how to turn it up. Number 6, meal timing. You've probably heard the saying, it's not just what you eat, it's when you eat it. And when it comes to restoring leg strength, that couldn't be more true. As we age, our muscles become less responsive to dietary protein, a phenomenon known as anabolic resistance. In younger adults, almost any protein-rich meal can trigger muscle repair. But in older adults, your body needs both enough protein and the right timing to switch into growth mode. The good news is that this process can be hacked by distributing your protein intake more evenly across the day and timing it around movement. A pivotal 2014 study from the University of Texas found that older adults who consumed 30 grams of high-quality protein at each meal had 25% higher rates of muscle protein synthesis compared to those who ate most of their protein at dinner. Why? Because each meal acted like a mini-on switch for muscle repair, keeping the process active all day. Here's how to apply this. Start strong. Your first meal should contain at least 30 grams of protein, ideally from sources rich in leucine and choline, like eggs, Greek yogurt, whey protein, or cottage cheese. Capitalize on movement. Eat a protein and carb-containing snack or meal within 30 to 60 minutes after any light activity like walking or stretching. This is called the anabolic window, when your muscle cells are most primed to absorb amino acids and begin repair. Avoid protein stacking at night. While it's tempting to eat a big dinner, your body can only synthesize about 30 to 40 grams of protein per meal. Anything more is often stored or burned, not built into muscle. Meal timing turns food from fuel into a biological signal. Done right, you're not just feeding your body, you're telling your muscles to grow, your nerves to connect, and your legs to come back online. Next, we'll recap the 6 powerful pillars of leg strength and show you how to combine them into one simple daily plan. Let's bring everything together. You've now seen that leg strength isn't just about exercise or aging. It's about communication, nutrition, and timing. These are 6 specific strategies you can begin applying today to help restore power, stability, and control in your legs. 1. Acetylcholine support. Fuel your nervous system with choline-rich foods like eggs to restore proper signal transmission between brain and muscle. 2. Leucine and mTOR activation. Use leucine, found in whey protein, eggs, and lean meats, to trigger muscle protein synthesis and overcome age-related anabolic resistance. 3. Nitric oxide for blood flow. Support circulation by consuming beets or beetroot juice. This enhances blood vessel dilation and improves nutrient delivery to leg muscles. 4. Anti-inflammatory greens. Reduce silent, chronic inflammation with dark leafy greens such as spinach, kale, and mustard greens. Their polyphenol and minerals help protect muscle and nerve function. 5. Meal timing and distribution. Eat 30 grams of high-quality protein at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Prioritize post-walk meals to align with the body's natural repair window. 6. Light daily movement. A short walk, light stretch, or easy cycling session helps activate neuromuscular pathways and makes nutrient uptake more efficient. Each of these tools works on its own, but when combined, they form a science-backed plan to help you feel stronger and more stable, sometimes in as little as 12 hours. Because your legs don't need a miracle. They just need the right support.